On May 16th, 2017, the demon race had seized the very last inch of human territory, and the human world had fallen completely. Amid that fierce battle engulfed in raging flames and smoke filling the sky, Qin stood right in the middle of the battlefield. His cold face was smeared all over with blood. 7 years earlier, several demon kings had suddenly descended upon the world. Among them, Demon King Manhua. They commanded the demon race, and with their overwhelming absolute power, crushed the human realm beneath their feet. He looked down on him with contempt and sneered. You think someone like you deserves to be called humanity's last hope? Your entire race is nothing but trash, not even worth a single move. His claws condensed a blazing red sphere of energy. Now go ahead and make the most of your final bit of value. That energy turned the entire space a deep crimson. Lua spoke in a dark, ominous tone. Become my food, turn into my strength. Si Chen's entire body was lifted high by the torrent of energy, gradually being absorbed bit by bit. He struggled desperately in despair, but it was futile. Insect Chen's mind flashed image after image, his little sister, his comrades in arms, his master, everyone he held dearest. He gritted his teeth until fresh blood seeped from the corner of his mouth. Everyone had already been robbed of their lives by those filthy beasts. Finally, Cien chose to detonate all his energy in a self-destruction to take everything down with him. For their sake, I'll perish together with you. The entire space erupted in blinding golden light as lightning crackled and spread outward. It was his ultimate SSS rank skill, Supreme Aurora Flash. Lanua was trapped by that overwhelming surge of power and cried out in shock. What is this? I can't move. Chen and LT, Unk and GT. S body began to shatter piece by piece right before he vanished completely. Fragments of memory flashed through his mind, his little sister. The silhouette of his master etched forever in his recollection, and his parents a warm, happy family. Everything slowly faded into darkness. See, Chun whispered with regret. We're finally going to meet again. It's just a pity I wasn't strong enough. Before his figure dissolved entirely, he made a wish. If only I could have been just a little stronger. If only I could turn back time to that year, discover the demon rift earlier, and stop the first demon king from ever appearing. Everything shattered within the dazzling torrent of energy. Lanua roared in furious hatred. You lowly race actually managed to make me. Before he could finish, his own form crumbled into scattered fragments as well. When he opened his eyes, hazy light poured in. Skin saw a ceiling above him. He blinked, staring up in a daze. He was lying in a room with his wrist wrapped tightly in bandages. Skan sat up and lifted his injured wrist in confusion to look at it. I'm still alive. He swung his legs off the bed and curiously scanned the room. Where's this place? Sichin walked over to the window and looked down below. He realized he was in the school infirmary. Sunset bathed the campus grounds. Classmates were chatting happily, laughing and messing around. Sin stood frozen, unable to believe his eyes. Wasn't the world already destroyed? Where did all these people come from? It took him a long while before he could accept the reality. He had somehow turned back time 10 years to the days when he was still a college student. He gazed at his own youthful face in the mirror, eyes wide with astonishment. Suddenly, flickering text gradually appeared in front of him, displaying a screen with the words, Devour Power Fusion Completed. Only then did he realize his wish had come true. He had returned to the time before everything went wrong. Khan hurriedly checked his phone. The screen showed 4:15 p.m., May 16th, 2157. It took him quite a while to process the information. I've really gone back 10 years. May 16th, 2017. He knew perfectly well this was 3 years before the first Demon King descended. Those dark, brutal memories flooded back into Chan's mind. In 2020, 3 years from now, the first Demon King Fury would descend and open the gate to hell. The other Demon Kings would follow one after another because of him. That was the starting point of total destruction, and because of it, he had lost everything. Sun stared blankly at his own 2 hands and gave a faint smile. But now I'm back. He believed that as long as he could defeat the first Demon King, Fury, when he appeared and prevent the hellgate from ever opening, everything could still be changed. The system continued to display. Devour Power Fusion Complete. He curiously examined it. What exactly is this Devour Power status screen? Ever since he opened his eyes, it had been floating right in front of him. When Chan reached out to touch it, the screen vanished and then switched to a detailed stats panel. All attributes were at 100. Strength, stamina, elemental power, speed, comprehension, mental power. What is this game-like data? Are these my current stats? See, Chen was puzzled. He had never seen anything like this before. In the past, he had always fought using his awakened power, something only 1 in 10,000 people ever obtained. Moreover, the school he attended was the National Awakened University, which only accepted students with awakening potential. But sadly, in his previous life, he had failed to awaken successfully throughout all 4 years of college, always stuck at the bottom of the food chain where anyone could bully him. See, Chun rubbed his shin in thought and suddenly realized, this is probably why I woke up in the infirmary. All of a sudden, the screen switched to a new interface that caught his attention. Laid the following information. Class. Lightning Assassin Strength. 100 Stamina, 100 Elemental Power, 100 Speed, 100 Comprehension, 100 Mental Power, 100 Skills. Flash God. A surge of electricity courses through the body in an instant. Movement speed increases tenfold. Lightning Pierce. Concentrate electricity into a blade, greatly boosting critical hit damage on attacks. Hitting a weak point inflicts a paralysis effect. See, Chun was utterly shocked. Lightning Assassin. Isn't this exactly the class I had in my previous life? His whole body trembled. He could vaguely feel a source of energy flowing through him. Could this be the power from my previous life being passed back to me? Did I awaken earlier this time? Sichin couldn't wait to test it right away. Let me check how strong I am now. A notification appeared, transferring class. Suddenly, there was a clattering sound from outside. Someone had opened the door. Sun whipped around to look. Malong, his dorm roommate, walked in carrying an armful of snacks. He exclaimed in surprise. Ugh. Then Malong rushed over happily and asked, Bro, you're awake. You feeling okay now? Skan replied, I'm fine now. From Malong and LT, Unk and GT. S reaction and the way he glanced at the still visible interface, Chun already had his answer. Sure enough, no one else could see this panel. Malong checked him all over and said in amazement, The wounds on you, they're all gone. You clearly took a brutal beating just yesterday. Your recovery speed is even faster than an awaken like me, your big bro. Sun glanced at the guy babbling beside him and gave a small smile. This was his dorm roommate, Mao. Even though Mao had awakened during college, he still ranked near the bottom of the class. In his previous life, when the third Demon King descended, Mao had been brutally killed. But now, here he was standing right in front of him, alive and well. Malong checked Sek Chun again in surprise. I almost feel like he's even stronger than before. Am I imagining things? Beside him, Sek Chun finally let himself relax, the corner of his mouth curving into a faint smile. Only at this moment did he truly feel it. I really have come back. Malong suddenly remembered something and clapped his hands. Right? Tomorrow's the aptitude assessment. Since you're okay now, bro, let's hurry back and get ready. He hurriedly pushed Sin toward the door. Even though you haven't awakened yet, it's still tied to the graduation evaluation. Come on. The campus grounds still looked as peaceful as ever. Everyone was busy with their own things. Some playing soccer, some jogging. Chun strolled leisurely across the training field. It's been so long since I've seen this many living people. Malong got goosebumps and quickly rubbed his arms. What are you saying, man? That's creepy. He couldn't help asking curiously, Bro, are we seriously just strolling around the sports field? Meanwhile, Chun remained lost in old memories. He had lost everything once. Thinking of that dark future made his heart feel heavy. If I do nothing, the hopeless future will come back soon enough. From that moment, a fierce determination rose in Sun's heart. He needed to make a plan immediately and level himself up as fast as possible. He understood clearly that in this era, awakened people had only one way to grow stronger, by killing demonic creatures inside demon rifts. But all the major rifts were already monopolized by the big guilds. Outsiders had no chance of getting in at all. If these are my current stats, then how does my strength compare to other awakened and demonic creatures? To distinguish power levels, the government had classified awakened humans and demonic beasts from highest to lowest. S right arrow, A right arrow B, right arrow C, right arrow D, right arrow E. Most students in the school were stuck at E rank. Only a handful of geniuses or those from major guilds ever reached Danks and thought confidently, I'm definitely stronger than him. Now suddenly the basketball flew out of nowhere and smashed straight in a Mound's face. Malong crashed to the ground with a thud. Glasses shattered up on the staircase. A few guys were lounging around laughing. Loudly one of them taunted Chun and Mound. They recover pretty fast. Hugs. I told you these two can really take a beating. The arrogant one pointed and demanded. You two obviously knew I was shooting hoops here. Why didn't you bring a couple cases of drinks? Malong trembled in fear and stammered. Sorry, I'll go buy some right now. Sun stepped forward calmly, voice ice cold. He's not the one who's wrong. The ones who should apologize are you guys. He stared straight at the guy and asked coldly, Is it this one? A rush of memories from the past suddenly flooded back. In his previous life, Chan had once been forced head first into water by Gongchang. He was repeatedly slammed into the sink in the bathroom. Maung had huddled in a corner, trembling and begging, "Please stop it." Gongchang kept pressing Chin's head down into the water and sneered casually. "Why stop? I'm just helping him awaken." The grip on his neck grew stronger. He still hasn't awakened. Doesn't he need a little stimulation? The gang of lackeys behind him laughed hysterically at the pathetic scene. When Chan stopped moving, they lost interest. Let's go. Let's go. It's no fun anymore." Malong rushed over in panic. "Are you okay?" Water streamed down from his soaked hair across his face. No one could tell if it was water or tears. His voice full of grievance rang out. Why won't you just leave us alone?" More than anyone, Chen understood. Pure malice didn't only exist in demonic creatures. It lived in the hearts of humans, too. Gongchang had once threatened, "What did you just say?" He casually ordered his lackey, "Go and beat him until he wakes up." After hearing Cien speak, Gongchang froze for a second and let out a confused huh. Maung's face bruised and swollen from the beating weakly said, "Shin, what are you even saying?" Gongchang warrior stepped forward slowly, green energy surging along his arm. The two lackeys behind him moved in as well. Zichen's eyes gradually turned icy cold as he stared silently at his opponent. He knew exactly who this was. Gonk. The guy relied on his older brother being the strongest student council president in school, which let him bully the weak without fear. In reality, his own abilities were nothing special. The surrounding classmates noticed the commotion and started whispering, "Look, Gong Changing's about to beat them up again. They just got out of the infirmary, and now they're getting pounded again. One's the weakest awakened. The other hasn't even awakened yet. Seriously, the two most useless guys in school." Gong King stopped right in front of Chan, looking down from above with a voice as cold as ice. "What did you just say? Say it again, and don't bother us anymore after this." He raised his fist. "Looks like you really need another beating, huh?" Zichan calmly lifted his own fist to block it without a hint of effort. Gong Cheng's legs wobbled as he staggered backward, letting out a small groan of pain. The scene left everyone gaping in utter shock. What the hell just happened? He actually blocked Gong Cheng's punch. He clearly hasn't awakened yet. Holy crap, am I seeing things or what? Gong Cheng felt utterly humiliated as everyone pointed and whispered about him. Damn it, some weakling who hasn't even awakened dares to challenge me. Sin quietly gathered lightning in his palm, the corner of his mouth curling up. Perfect. You'll make a great test, dummy. The system displayed. Job conversion complete. Sec Lightning Assassin. Additional info appeared. Flash God, lightning courses through the entire body in an instant. Movement speed increases tenfold. Lightning Blade concentrates lightning into a blade, massively boosting critical hit damage on attacks. Hitting a weak point inflicts paralysis. Stats upgraded as follows. Strength 200 speed, 300 elemental power, 100 vitality, 100 mental power, 100. Malong freaked out and yelled, "You! When the hell did you awaken?" Lightning crackled and flashed around Sek Chen's body. Gongchang activated Immortal Demon Armor, his hands swelling massively. He roared in excitement. "Looks like you forgot who you're messing with." He swung his gigantic fist towards Chen. "Taste the killer punch." But in the very next instant, his jaw dropped as Sek Chen's fist appeared right in front of his face. Bam! Gong Changing's entire body was smashed into the ground by the punch sent flying backward, blood spraying everywhere. The classmates were stunned. What just happened in that split second? One punch, and he sent Gong Kang flying. Malong questioned his entire existence, staring at the earth shaking turnaround in front of him. They look like they're dreaming. Is this really Chun? What the hell just happened? Gongchang face planted into the dirt and cursed. "Son of a, you dare sneak attack me?" He turned and barked at his lackeys. "What are you idiots just standing there for?" But by then, Sek Shun was already advancing like a grim reaper, stepping forward with dark menace. Gongchang, still in pain, charged again with a growl, "I'll kill you." Sin casually lifted his hand, grabbed Gongchang's wrist in an iron grip, then crushed it and snapped it backward hard. Gongchang went silent from the agony before screaming in torment. Skan raised a lightning reed fist and sneered, "You're trash." In that moment, lightning blazed across the entire corner of the field. Gongchang took the full force of the punch. His body flew like a broken rag doll hurled far away. Thud! A heavy crash echoed. No one expected the arrogant bully to get beaten this badly. Covered in blood, clothes torn to shreds, he lay motionless on the ground. The whole place fell deathly silent, everyone staring in disbelief at Chen. Malong was shaken and stammered. "Zichen, hey, since when did he get this strong?" Zichen glanced at his status window and quietly drew some initial conclusions. First, as expected, he could switch into assassin lightning state anytime. Even though the system level was only 1 right now, just like he predicted, his base state was already enough to handle the lowest tier awakened. This proved his current grade was higher than E rank. Exactly what rank it was still unclear, but there was still one issue. He clearly defeated him, so why hadn't the system value changed at all? He grabbed Gong King by the collar, lightning surging fiercely around him. From behind, a gentle voice spoke up. "Classmate, this is a school, you know." Ling Wu, vice president of the student council, stepped in to remind him. Even though Gong Chung started it, this level of punishment was enough. She smiled and advised, "He won't dare lay a hand on you guys anymore after this." Some let go. Gong Chung dropped to the ground with a thud and lay perfectly still. He glanced at Ling Wu, curiosity stirring inside. Why is someone from the student council so eager to protect that guy? But he had no intention of actually finishing him off. If he didn't crush this kind of person completely, they'd keep coming back to bother him endlessly. Gong Cheng's 2 cowardly lackeys hid behind the wall, whispering. That look on his face just now was terrifying. Better not mess with him anymore. Is that guy even Stiltson? Weren't those 2 the weakest and poorest in the whole school? Sichin didn't want to waste any more time here and said coldly, "Let's go." Malong hurried to follow right behind. Ling Wu stood behind them and murmured with interest. The weakest and poorest, huh? That evening in the boys' dormitory building, Malong excitedly retold the afternoon's events, but no one believed him. He frantically tried to prove it. "Why don't you guys believe me? Sun really awakened, and he's a super strong lightning assassin." Malong even reenacted the scene, flailing his arms wildly. He flattened Gong King. "Now those guys don't even dare look us in the eye anymore." One roommate, Xiangzhua, nuclear mage, dug in his ear and asked in annoyance. "So where'd he go then?" Malong hesitated and scratched his head. I think he said he was going for a run." The guy pointed at Maung and LT, Unk and GT, S-head and scolded. "If he's that strong, why the hell does he need to run? Awakened people still need basic training like that. Does that even make sense?" Huh. Another one, Xiang Yu, also nuclear mage, typed away on his phone and chimed in. "Looks like Maung's brain really got knocked loose." "Yeah, snap out of it." Xiang Su reminded him. "The only reason the 4 of us got roomed together is because our grades are the 4 lowest in the whole block. That's unchangeable. Plus, I'm dead last number 1 in the dorm forever. Everyone can only awaken 1 job in their lifetime. Those 2 are just support. I'm the only combat job in this dorm. Nuclear mage. This is cold hard reality. It can't be changed." Si-chan with that pathetic look of his awakening as a lightning assassin. "Come on me. Lately, I've been feeling way stronger. Might even join a guild soon." Xiang, you didn't care much and lazily said, "Tomorrow is the final grade evaluation before graduation. We'll see everything clearly then." At the ear-run, Demon Cave, a group was guarding a spatial gate. A figure stepped out from inside. It was Gong Ting, student council president of the school. Ling Wu followed behind. He informed his subordinates and left. "Training ends here for today." Suddenly, Gong Ting paused when he spotted a figure in the shadows. He asked, "Waiting here?" Gong Chong was still fuming from the morning and gritted his teeth. "If you don't handle this, I won't sleep tonight. In front of so many people, he humiliated me. Clearly, he doesn't respect you at all." Gong Ting remained calm despite the angry outburst. "I understand." He promised, "I'll take care of it for you." At dinner, Gong Ting leisurely cut into a steak. Ling Wu sat across from him and asked, "How are you planning to handle this?" He replied, "He's just not on the same level." Gong Ting didn't quite believe it. "Is that guy really as strong as he claims?" Ling Wu answered, "You know everyone's full power and grade in the school better than anyone. Less than 10 people reached D rank, and you've already pulled them all into the guild. Plus, no one else has the chance to access the demon cave like you do. Those average awakened have no way to level up." She believed no one could catch up to his pace. In the pouring rain at night, CCH Shun was running laps on the training field. He carried a 100 kilograms backpack and kept running 20 kilometers nonstop. This was self-imposed basic training. Basic physical conditioning improves the body. An awakened person's upper limit is directly proportional to their base physical strength. Only with a strong enough body can you fully endure and unleash a job's power. But even this was far from enough. Back in 2020, the furious Demon King emerged from the Demon Cave and descended upon the world. In an instant, he slaughtered countless people. His only family little sister Ci died at his hands. Watching Ci fade away in his arms, he begged desperately, "No, please do." Sun burned with hatred, thinking of him. Furious had opened the gates of hell, allowing other demon kings to invade the human world. Though his first day goal was to kill Furious. Furious was the source of all destruction. He would descend in 3 more years. He was definitely accelerating his growth. Section had to outpace him. Suddenly, his phone buzzed in his pocket. Cien pulled it out. The screen showed an incoming call from a name that pierced his heart. Sean calling. He was stunned and quickly answered hello. On the other end, CI Yin and LT, Unk and GT. As curious voice asked, "Gee, why'd you call me so many times today? I was at a competition and my phone died. I just got back to the dorm and plugged it in." She happily continued, "Remember what I told you? If I win this prize, we can finally pay off the rent." Cien froze in the rain. In that ruined future, he had prayed countless times to the heavens. Could he start over? When CR'd silence, she urged, "Gee, is it raining where you are? Why aren't you saying anything?" He swore that no matter the cost, even if it dragged him into endless hell. His gentle voice replied, "It's nothing." Tears streamed down Sechen's face, mixing with the rain. It's been way too long since I last heard your voice. Sans sounded passive. What are you talking about, G? Didn't we just talk on the phone the day before yesterday? Once I finish my competition, we can meet up. Just wait for my good news. Okay, bye. Sin stood under the pouring rain, letting it wash away the darkness of his past and welcome a brand new beginning. Now, everything had truly started over from the very beginning. The responsibility to protect his loved ones drove him to keep training relentlessly. 3 more laps. Si-chun swore to himself that he would become stronger, much stronger, and as fast as possible to safeguard everything this time. Finally, he returned to the dorm late into the night. His roommates were all sound asleep. 8 hours had passed since he came back to this era. Si-chun stepped in the bathroom, slowly getting used to this youthful body again. Though its physical condition was still relatively weak, this was the perfect starting point. After changing clothes, his mind kept drifting with thoughts. Next up was solving the most critical question. Chen sat on the bed worried about the current situation. Leveling required entering dungeons, but dungeons were monopolized by the major guilds. Aside from the privileged elite, most people had no chance to level up at all. How could he even get access to demonic beasts? And then there was that devour power. What exactly was it? As he closed his eyes, a system state suddenly transmitted to him. A blazing red screen appeared, initializing core status 70%. The progress bar gradually filled. Devour system activation complete. Chen found himself floating in an undefined void. He snapped his eyes open, feeling himself free falling. He flipped midair and landed safely. Before him stretched a desolate, pitch-black wasteland with a towering pillar piercing the sky in the distance. Chen couldn't help but feel curious and whispered, "Where is this? I wasn't sleeping, was I?" Looking at the thing ahead, Chan realized it was a skyscraping tower standing solemnly in the gloomy space. This tower, what is it? From a muddy ground, monsters slowly rose up. There were nothing but pale white skeletons. Exactly. The Cloud Warriors rank undead. A system notification popped up abruptly. Job conversion in progress. He was stunned. Demonic beasts. Could this be inside a dungeon? Next update. Job conversion complete. Level 1. Sec Lightning Assassin. Chen instantly condensed a lightning blade in his hand. Though the situation was still unclear, he had to deal with these annoyances first. Additional info on Lightning Assassin updated Flash God. Lightning courses through the entire body. In an instant, movement speed increases tenfold. Lightning Blade concentrates lightning into a blade, massively boosting critical hit damage on attacks. Hitting a weak point inflicts paralysis. The Cloud Warriors charged toward him. Skin struck the first one's weak point with Lightning Blade. Immediately notification obtained 3 Cloud Warrior fangs. He handled the entire group solo with fluid precision. With his current strength, dealing with these E-rank monsters was still completely manageable. Everything felt terrifyingly real. Nothing like a dream at all. Experience points kept rising. System notification level up. Level 2, right arrow level 3. Seeing the glow enveloping his body, Tsun realized the most important thing. I can gain experience and level up here. He opened his stat panel. Thrilled. Every attribute increased by 5 points. He could hardly believe the cheat he was getting. I actually have a dungeon all to myself to grind. At that moment, Chen encountered the Cloud Warrior King, the leader of the pack. He slashed hard with Lightning Blade. In that case, I've got to train hard here and make the most of it. Right after defeating the leader, notification. Received 320 experience points. Level up. Level 3, right arrow. Level 4. Obtained 18 Cloud Warrior Fangs, 1 Cloud Warrior Crystal Core. Sen grinned inwardly. Leader monsters give several times more experience than the small fries of the same level. Just a short while, and I already gained 2 levels. Suddenly, the system announced, Devour available. His eyes widened in disbelief. Staring at those words, Chin wondered, what does this mean? He slowly raised his hand. Could it be the true meaning of devour power is to absorb demonic materials? The cloud warrior king in front of him turned into mist, slowly drawn into his palm. System display. Devouring. Devour complete. Gained. Cloud warrior king. Cloud warrior. Bunsheeting physique. Immune to cold. In low temperature environments. All resistances increased. He was shocked. The demonic material gets absorbed and turns into a card. I can kill them, devour them, and turn them into my own jobs. Suddenly, a horrifying realization hit Chan. This wasn't exactly like when he absorbed the energy from Demon King Lanhua back then. The image of me absorbing this monster's energy is identical to what happened in the past. He finally truly understood that was the power of Demon King Lanhua. The devour power originally belonged to him, and I've stolen it. Jobs are inherently ranked strong or weak, meaning each person can only possess one job in their lifetime. But now he held two jobs at the same time. If I can devour other demonic beasts, then I could possess countless jobs. Sin couldn't help but wonder, how did I end up with this kind of power? He glanced back at the tower behind him. And what exactly is that demonic tower? Suddenly, an overwhelming pressure crashed down, forcing his knees to buckle. Khan was stunned. This terrifying aura. What's going on? From the distance, a figure appeared, its deep voice echoing. You finally arrived. I've been waiting for you here for a very long time. It was a Lord rank monster, and it knew his name, Chen. The government ranks awakened humans and demonic beasts from low to high. A right arrow D, right arrow C, right arrow B, right arrow, a right arrow S. He was pushed back by the creature's power. Chun gripped his lightning blade, tightly thinking in my previous life, I nearly died, trying to reach Shrank right now. My max combat power is only D rank, but I'm facing an S rank boss. The level gap is way too huge. It completely dominates every one of my stats. What kind of dungeon is this? Why is there an S rank monster here and more? Importantly, why does it know my name during the fight? With the Lordson realized he had already exchanged dozens of blows. In that time, it had countless chances to kill him outright. Yet, every attack avoided vital weak points, only knocking him down again and again. His whole body was sent flying far away as he struggled to get back up. The Lord asked coldly, still struggling. Khan understood its goal. It wanted to subdue him. The Lord reminded him, you'd better reconsider the options I've given you. Will you stay here and guard this demon tower with me? This is a rare opportunity. He refused bluntly. No matter what, I'm absolutely not staying in this cursed place. Suddenly, a sharp force shot up from the ground like a blade, slicing across his shoulder. Fresh blood sprayed everywhere. The Lord was nearly out of patience. Do you really think I won't kill you? I've only been patient because you're the only one who can reach this place. Clutching his wounded arm, he quietly searched for a way out. The Lord unleashed massive energy, power, and stamina surging. It gave him one last chance. I'll ask you one final time. An enormous chunk of earth was lifted. It stood high above, arrogantly asking, stay here, or shall I crush you into pulp? Skam began, I choose. Lightning enveloped his entire body as he charged straight at the enemy to kill you. The Lord hurled massive boulders toward him. Ridiculous. Skam nimbly landed on each rock, gradually closing in on the Lord. He already had his own plan. Through the earlier exchanges, he had seen it clearly. Before every slash, there was a 0.4-second wind-up delay. He could use that window to observe the force angle from the wrist, predict the trajectory, and dodge the blade. More importantly, after each strike, there was a 0.2-second recovery lag. If he targeted that opening, he could strike when it was completely off guard. Use Lightning Blade to pierce straight through its heart in an instant. He recalled Lightning Blade's attributes. Concentrates lightning into a blade. Attacks gain critical hit effects. Hitting weak points can inflict paralysis. Even though Drank couldn't kill Shrank, a full-force paralysis strike would at least control it for a few seconds. Its speed is too fast. There wasn't enough time to create distance earlier, but those few seconds will be enough for me to escape. Sin accelerated toward the distant pillar of light. Throughout the fight, he had constantly scanned the surroundings. Only one source of light existed. Just as his hand was about to touch the light, it suddenly vanished. Skam was shocked. The light's source disappeared. The Lord laughed coldly. Too bad. That was just an illusion I left behind. The exit you're searching for doesn't exist. This place isn't a dungeon at all. It continued. However, you figured out the weakness in my attacks very quickly. Interesting. Even under absolute despair, you stayed calm, analyzed the situation, and risked everything for a sliver of hope. You truly are someone who can bring change. Final information echoed. This place is the Ashura Purgatory. Chen stared in shock at its form. That appearance. He had seen it before on Demon King Lanhua. Skam ignored it and immediately slashed his lightning blade toward the Ashura. Suddenly, he remembered it was in his previous life during the final battle against Demon King Manhua. The guy had switched through countless powerful jobs one after another. From fire-based jobs, unleashing terrifying destructive flames that burned everything to ashes, to wood-based jobs, where vines became weapons that wrapped around and assaulted enemies. Then lightning-based ones releasing storms of electricity all around. Skin thought to himself, I remember it so clearly. One of those forms was exactly this appearance. The current form of this URA. The creature looked at him calmly, like he was a defeated opponent. Chen realized the horrifying truth. In other words, he was once devoured by Lanhua's devour power, and now that same devour power has merged into me, he boldly gasped. Could this place actually be inside my own body? The user let out an impressed "oh," his voice full of admiration. Not only exceptional combat ability, but an extraordinarily sharp mind as well. He smiled. You deserve to claim everything here. Khan was stunned. Everything here. A key suddenly appeared in the Ashura's hand. It glowed with a faint, ethereal light radiating an ancient aura. He introduced it. This is the Time Rift Key, SSS grade, the only key that can open the Demon Tower's gate. The user continued. Lanhua devoured countless ferocious demons. The strongest among them have all been sealed inside the tower behind me. Devour them, grow stronger without end, and turn them all into your own power. The key floated right in front of him. Chan reached out and took it. The system immediately notified. Obtain Time Rift Key. He asked in confusion, why are you doing all this? Why help me? The user explained in a deep hate-filled voice. Even among demons, there are righteous and evil. Those demon kings massacred my entire clan for their selfish gain. I've been waiting for a chance at revenge all this time. Fortunately, I finally met you. He paused briefly, then continued. That person wasn't wrong. You're the only hope. Only you can succeed. Zen quickly asked, who is that person? The user only reminded him before starting to fade. The answers are all inside this demon tower. Go find them yourself. He left one final sentence. Carry my power with you and seek vengeance on them. Skin still hadn't processed it. Carry your power. The user's entire form gradually dissolved into smoke. Just before vanishing completely, he said, from now on, you must become stronger. Open the demon tower's gate and devour everything inside. The demons in there won't show you mercy like I did. They're the most cunning and vicious beings in the world. But you must endure it all. Defeat them all. You must stand at the pinnacle of this world. Finally, devour every last one of those demon kings. Only then will you be worthy. With his final strength, the user's body completely disintegrated. With his final strength, the user's body completely disintegrated. A surge of pink energy rose from the ashes and flew towards Sek Chun. He raised his hand to receive it. System update. Level up. Level 13. Right arrow. Level 14. Obtain 2 user and nether bones. Section clenched his fist and whispered like a vow. I understand. I'll carry that part of you with me. Then he received a new card. Card user Purgatory 100 Bones Wasteland absorbs the physical strength of corpses and surrounding power, converting it into your own at a corresponding ratio. 3 phases Heavy Calamity alters gravity, attacking enemies in 3 forms. Light, heavy, and ultra heavy. Sen gripped his fist tightly and swore, I'll make them pay in blood for the blood they spill. Back in the present, a new day began. Dawn light streamed through the dormitory window. A familiar shout rang in his ears. Hurry up. Get up already. Sichin bolted upright. The top bunk bed was neatly made. By the door, the 2 Xiong guys were already in uniform, hurrying each other. Move it. Don't dawdle. We have to wear school uniforms today. He was dazed. I'm back in the dorm. Sin quickly checked the wound on his shoulder. The cut had fully healed. Could everything just now have been a dream? But when he looked at the system panel, he got a clear answer. The system proved it had all really happened. Moreover, every reward gained in that dream now existed in reality. To think I leveled up to 10 overnight. What grade does that even correspond to? Xiangzu walked up to him, leaned down, and asked mockingly. Last night, someone was praising you. Huh, now you've gotten stronger, right? Even shaking my position as the dorm's best. Malong stood frozen in place, not daring to make a sound, only secretly urging. Let's go. The great evaluation about to start. Let me see how much you're worth. Xiangzu bought a piece of bread, took a bite, and sneered. Our dorm is all E rank, but don't forget each rank is divided into stages. You guys are just low stage, E while in mid stage E. The gap between stages is massive. I could take on 10 of you. Got it. Who knows? Maybe after 2 years without checking, my grade went up. Malong whispered to him. Chun, you've got to show your full power later. Scare him with that deer rank. Sun smiled and asked back. Dear ho. Right as their group reached the central training field, Jiangsu lit at a shocked whoa. On the big stage, a sign clearly read, National Awaken University Grade Assessment Ceremony. He curiously looked at the crowd of students ahead. Everyone's here so early. Suddenly, Gong Changjing's lackey swaggered over, shoving people aside. Move, don't touch me. Xiangzhu recognized Gong Cheng's minions and quickly said, we should stay back a bit. But Chen's cold voice from behind made him jump, his face paling. What are you looking at? He stood right behind Xiangzhu, expression icy. The two lackeys saw CEI, Chun, and instantly bristled like scared cats. They bowed 90 degrees in unison. Big bro Chun, you're here. Xiangzhu was puzzled. Why are they so respectful to CCH Chun? Could Maung have been telling the truth? Maolong finally got his chance to gloat. See, didn't I tell you? Xian didn't bother arguing, said nothing, and just walked on. He paused when someone blocked his path. Zhang Dai, student council officer, stood with hands on hips, voice dripping with provocation. I heard someone clashed with Gong King yesterday. Do you know he's the biological little brother of our respected student council president Gong Xin? People around whispered fearfully, that's Zhang Dai, the student council officer. Xiangzhu couldn't believe it. Isn't Zhang Dai just a lackey? He's a big shot D rank. How's he connected to Tsintu? But why does the vibe feel off? Zhang Dai spoke up mocking. You know, my senses are super sharp. I can smell a real powerhouse. He leaned close to Si Chen's ear and whispered. But on you, all I smell is the stench of poverty from a lifetime at the bottom. The words hit like ice water, freezing Zhang Dai in place. Are you a dog? He snapped angrily. What did you say? Gong Ting approached, calmly, reminding Yongda, stand down. He continued, acting fair and impartial. I've already investigated the details. This started because Gong Chang provoked first. If you do wrong, you pay the price. That's only right. Zhang Dai retracted his hostility and reluctantly bowed. Yes, President. He silently sized up Chan across from him. Skan maintained his cold demeanor, observing his opponent without flinching. From the stage, the teacher next to the large testing machine announced, Attention students, the grade assessment is about to begin. We'll proceed by student ID order. When your name is called, please come up to the stage in an orderly manner. Gong Ting turned to Zhang Dai. Let's send LT, UNC, and GT. Go prepare for our assessments. Gang Dai immediately put on a bootlicking expression and followed. Yes, sir. He thought to himself. This section guy doesn't look threatening at all. On a nearby high-rise building, Ling Wu stood, watching the assessment area below. Beside her, someone asked curiously, why the sudden interest in watching the grade assessment today? Found someone worth your time. The person smiled. I predict this one's going to be really interesting. An hour later, it was finally their dorm's turn. Announcement. Next grade assessment. Xiangzhua. From below, cheers rang out. Go for it, Xiangxua bro. He stepped forward, stuck his hand into the machine. Let's see my true strength. The machine activated, taking a moment to process. Grade assessments are conducted individually in a specially deased dungeon. Inside is a demon core, an energy nucleus that absorbs power. The awakened must release all their energy toward the demon core. The energy detected by the demon core is transmitted outward through cables. Finally displayed as data on the big screen. Final result appeared. Grade mid-stage. The teacher asked in surprise. Recording complete. Other data not yet released. Maolong got excited. Here it comes. The most important part next. See, Chun thought inwardly. Besides current grade, it also measures another stat. The potential. The highest grade this job can reach in the future. Those with high potential are very likely to receive special national attention. Final announcement assessment complete. Current grade mid-stage, E highest potential. See, Xiang's was slunk back dejected. Looks like my grade hasn't improved in 2 years. Thought I might push to D. The teacher called. Next. Maolong. Maolong stepped up to comfort his friend. Relax. Xiang Su Bodo. We're even worse off. He cheerfully added. You're not the only one not reaching D. We're and LT, UNC, and GT, all in the same boat. Next was Xiangyu. Barrier current grade low stage, E potential C. Then Xiangxua barrier current grade mid stage, E potential C. Maolong confidently said this school doesn't have many D ranks, might not even be one this year. Suddenly the announcement shocked all three. Assessment complete, current grade low stage, D highest potential, B. Someone ran out joyfully. The whole hall buzzed. The first D rank of the year has appeared. A bit later, Zhang Dai emerged from the testing area. Announcement continued. Assessment complete, current grade low stage, D highest potential. A Maolong covered his face, unable to watch. That's the 8th deer rank already. Two teachers discussed so many deer rank talents this year, even if they're low stage. For students without real combat experience, it's excellent. Yeah, usually a graduating class has at most 2 or 3 danks. With this trend, this year's graduation assessment is going to be exciting. Announcement. Next grade assessment. Gongting. Gongting calmly walked to the testing machine. Everyone waited in anticipation. Finally, his turn. Student council president, heir to an imperial guild, a chosen one with countless privileges. Among them, Sikhan quietly waited. Whispers rippled around him. I heard he only hit deer rank in the assessment 2 years ago. The highest grade recorded in this batch so far is low stage D. The all-time record for our school is mid-stage D. Wonder how far he'll go. Inside the testing chamber, the eyes slowly cracked open as someone stepped in. Gongting and LT, Unk and GT. S hand gradually reached toward the demon core. He thought to himself, the real showstopper comes during the graduation combat exam when I unleash everything. For now, I need to hold back a few levels of power. Even so, I'll still be the greatest in school history. The grade and potential display gradually lit up in brilliant white-gold hues. The teacher murmured curiously, that color. The final results appeared. The entire crowd erupted in shock. Upper stage D peak potential S. Yang Daichird, the #1 record holder in school history. No wonder he's the eternal president. Our school actually produced an as potential genius. So jealous. We're witnessing history. The teachers huddled and discussed. Results confirmed. Upper stage D potential. Should we report straight to higher-ups? Absolutely. One explained. An S potential awakened is a world-class treasure. They need special national attention and protection. Not to mention, he's the young master of an imperial guild. This news will definitely hit the front page of every national outlet. Up on a high floor, the person next to Ling Wu marveled. Today's assessment really delivered a prodigy. You already knew Gong Ting was an S potential candidate, right? No wonder you came to watch the drama. Ling Wu shook her head gently. No, I didn't come for him. She smiled faintly, eyes drifting downward. I'm placing my hopes on someone else. Compared to Gong Ting, I'm looking forward to his performance way more. The announcement rang out clearly. Next grade assessment, Si Chun. The person Ling Wu had been waiting for had finally arrived. Zhang Dai brushed past him, not forgetting to taunt. Kids, you better give it your all to bring honor to our dorm. He sneered. When you get your results later, don't end up as low stage E again. At that point, your whole dorm will be packed with 4 earrings from low to mid-top of the school. Hilarious. Zhang Dai mocked their entire group. You weaklings will just embarrass yourselves in the graduation combat exam. Anyway, Malong shouted back full of confidence. Just wait. Section's definitely going to blow your mind. On the stage, C.I. Chan had already stepped through the testing gate. Outside, Xiangzhua asked worriedly, Shen, can he really pull this off? He calmly approached the floating eye, suspended by tangled cables. It cracked open, gazing at the next entrance. A fiery red light flashed in Sek Chen's eyes. He extended his hand forward. More than anyone, he understood. In this era, the best path for an awakened to grow was joining a top-tier guild. For most people, the only chance to showcase their power to Heil guilds was the graduation combat exam. The exam allowed max 10 people per team, with candidates free to choose members. The winning team would have all its members directly recruited by the nation's top imperial guilds. So, the test didn't just determine grades, it played a crucial role in deciding everyone's future. Outside, Jung Dai was excitedly introducing boss. This is Yen Lin low stage D. He rambled on. Now our 10-man team is fully assembled. All 9 low stage Ds are in our group. Add Gong Chong, your little brother, and will definitely dominate the combat exam. The MVP will be you, President. Sun understood the principle perfectly. This was team selection for the graduation combat exam. In this setup, the strongest team would inevitably form and the weakest would be left behind. The strong band together, the weak gets sidelined and eliminated. That's the unchanging law of survival. Maung had waited so long his eyes were drooping. How long has Chin been in there? The screen for him still shows nothing. No movement at all. Someone mocked. Shin's power is probably too weak to even register. The test's basically over. Let's head back to the dorm. Zhang Dai invited. The rest are all trash anyway. No need to wait. Our team's full. Let's hit karaoke. Gong Ting reminded everyone to gather the team members. Suddenly, the display board in front began to update. Scon's grade appeared. Upper stage D. The whole place felt deathly silent. Malong exploded with excitement. Upper stage DC. I told you guys, was I wrong? Zheng Gai was floored. What? Upper stage D. The inner announcement chimed. Grade assessment complete. Result. Upper stage D system detects demon core instability. Results may be inaccurate. Requesting retest. Send Bundert. Just now I used my base body without switching jobs. Looks like level 10's raw strength equates to upper stage D. Updated notification. Job change in progress. Job change complete. Right now, he was flipping to the Cloud Warrior King card. Chen was eager. Next, let's test my weakest current job. Outside his grade, display began shifting. Showed mid-stage C. This shocked everyone even more. What's happening? Sin's grade just went up again. Zhang Dai felt like his eyes were deceiving him. C rank. This is ridiculous. There has to be a glitch somewhere. Even the teacher was baffled. I've never seen anything like this before. What did the system go wrong? The announcement repeated. System detects demon core instability. Results may be inaccurate. Requesting retest. Chen kept testing confidently. Looks like my other two jobs should both hit above C rank. Notifications kept updating. Job change in progress. Job change complete. Finally, he flipped to the Ashura Purgatory card. Now let's check my strongest power. The card displayed the Ashura's info. The testing eye suddenly swelled as if overloaded. In an instant, it turned into a swirling vortex of energy. A massive storm, laced with roaring lightning, appeared in the sky. The students stared at the apocalyptic black clouds in terror. What the hell is this? Xiang Yu clasped his hands in prayer. Heavenly Omen today will go down in our E-rank dorm history as the birth of a legendary figure. Skan's grade and potential display continue to shift. Final announcement, potential S. The teacher gaped another S potential. Gongting stared intently, tension rising. Due to overload, the system blared warnings. The S on screen began to fade, followed by a mechanical alert. Warning, system error. 3 consecutive S's flashed. Potential unmeasurable. Exceeds system maximum load. The teacher's face turned purple with shock. The screen exploded, shattering into pieces. He rushed inside. Oh no, demon core overload. Hurry in and check. The teacher asked, classmate, are you okay? Approaching Chen, he froze at the sight below. The eye had withered gray and lifeless. He stammered in shock. The demon core died. He knelt to inspect. Could it be from overuse today? Sichen looked at the display and thought inwardly. I went a bit too hard and killed the demon core, but that actually gave me a nice surprise. New notification. Devour successful. Demon core crystal. A grade can detect power grades of threats within 100 m radius. Issues danger warnings upon detecting threats in range. Even Chen was surprised. Devour power can actually consume the demon core strength, too. He calmly stepped out of the testing gate. A green light flashed in Chen's eyes. The demon core crystal activating. He scanned the crowd on the field. Grades appeared above their heads. Xian smiled inwardly. Now I can see everyone's grades. Pretty handy. He saw Gong Ting as mid-stage C. So Gong Ting was hiding his strength too. Mid-stage C, nothing special. At that moment, the teacher stepped out, cleared his throat. Unfortunately, the demon core seems to have burned out from excessive use and suddenly failed. Today's assessments are paused here, since earlier data may contain errors. We'll report this to superiors. Remaining students can return tomorrow. We'll prepare a new device. The crowd rushed to see Chun, showering him with praise. I don't care. The data is definitely accurate. Our C Chun is a genius, a legend. What do you want to eat today? Or should we head back to the dorm? Zhang Dai regained composure and sneered. I knew it. How could a loser like you reach C rank, let alone S potential? Obviously, the equipment glitched. He accused. Now you've wrecked the demon core and just want to walk away. Isn't that too irresponsible? You've wasted everyone else's time. They can't test until tomorrow. Can you compensate for that lost time? Lightning faintly crackled in Sechen's palm. Murderous intent rose in him. This guy will never stop. Maybe I shoot him. Gong Ting stepped forward with a darkened face and warned, Zhang Dai, back off. Don't treat our teammate like that. Zhang Dai froze, as if acupressure pointed, and immediately shut up. Gong Ting smiled and extended his hand invitingly. Si-chun, join my team. Let's tackle the graduation combat exam together. The highest score in history will definitely be ours. Xian coldly eyed the hand, reaching toward him. The onlookers in the distance were stunned. Gong Ting, he personally invited Xian to join his team. Zhang Dai thought in panic. If this guy actually joins, we'd have to kick someone out. How am I supposed to explain this to the brothers? Joining Gong Ting's team basically guarantees first place in the graduation exam. So many people bribed and begged just to get in. What the hell does he have going for him? Before he could figure out a counter, Gong Ting spoke first, voice calm, but brimming with confidence. Join my team. We and LT, UNC and GT, LL tackle the graduation combat exam together. The highest score in history will definitely be ours. Jangda and LT, UNC and GT. S hand trembled as he prepared to pat Chen's shoulder in fake goodwill. He forced a smile uglier than crying. Since that's the case, welcome aboard. Smack. Sin slapped the hand away hard. Voice. I scold, not interested. Zhang Dai froze, stunned by the blunt rejection. Gong Ting and LT, Unk and GT. S brow furrowed slightly at the unexpected move. Zhang Dai exploded, pointing and roaring. You do even know what you're saying, brat? Our team's the strongest in the whole school. Sin cut him off, tone unchanging. Has nothing to do with me. You're too noisy. Don't bother me again. He turned and said coldly to Ma Long and Xiangyu. Let's an LT, Unk and GT go. Behind him, Jangda and LT, Unk and GT. S face flushed red with rage, teeth grinding audibly. People around whispered. Chun actually dared reject Gong Ting. Does he have the guts? That's the student council president. Maybe he wants first place all to himself. Anyway, his test showed mid-stage. See, there's going to be some good drama ahead. Maung and Xiangyu muttered excitedly. Did you see their faces? They looked ready to kill. They were so arrogant earlier. Section's insanely bold. Gong Ting gave a faint smile, voice steady. No problem. Looks like Brotherton has his own ideas from the high-rise building. Yuan Long sighed regretfully. What a shame the two of them won't team up. I was hopping for a new record this year. Ling Wu replied calmly. This way is way more interesting. Gong Ting was born with a silver spoon. Rejecting him like that is a straight-up declaration of war. Our president, he's not someone easy to deal with. Down on the field, Zhang Dai was still fuming. His results only popped because of the glitch. He really thinks he's kank. Gong Ting watched Sek, Chin's retreating back coldly, and lowered his voice. What if there was no glitch? Even if it's 1 in 100 red million chance. I absolutely can't let anyone else take my #1 spot. He grabbed Zhang Dai by the collar, voice dropping. Either way, he's just a student with 0 real combat experience. We're the elites who have secretly cleared countless dungeons with me. Zhang Dai nodded frantically, eyes flashing with malice. How about I go teach him a lesson for you? Gongling frowns. Do I seem that petty to you? Young Dai panicked and denied. No, I didn't mean it like that. Gong Ting let go and turned to leave. I'm not in the mood for karaoke today. You and the team handle it yourselves. Then he deliberately added, whatever you do, it has nothing to do with me. Zhang Dai grinned, getting the hint. Got it. It won't involve you at all. A bit later, Zhang Dai got a message from a lackey. Brother Zhang, see Chin's not in school. The underling replied meekly. Yes, sir. I overheard him say he's heading home. He left without even eating. Zhang Dai lit up. The heavens are helping me. Outside school is perfect for me to go hard on him. Zichan was strolling home leisurely. Memories from his previous life flooded back. A top-tier guild raid on a dungeon in St. River Country had gone horribly wrong. Inside, they encountered an unprecedentedly powerful demon. Furious, the entire guild was wiped out. Furious emerged from the dungeon and descended upon the world. That was all he knew from his past life. In this life, to quickly pinpoint the exact dungeon where Furious lurked, he devised a plan. And to execute it, Skin stopped in front of the Secret Silver Monster Exchange. He knew he needed a large sum of money fast. Secret Silver would become the nation's largest monster exchange in the future. Weapons and gear were key to an awakened strength. The exchange was the essential hub for buying and selling equipment and the fastest way for him to make cash right now. Skin placed several Cloud Warrior fangs on the counter. The staff member picked one up surprised. Young student, where did you get these? Sen replied carefully. Dropped from monsters, the man asked curiously. I've never seen them before. A female staff nearby whispered. If I recall, these are drops from ear-rank Cloud-type undead. The Cloud Warriors, Cloud Warrior fangs. Records say they can be crafted into ear-rank Cloud staves or ground into powder. The man cut her off. All right. No need for the lecture. Ear-rank stuff. What can you even make with that? Our exchange targets VIP clients. Everyone here is high status awakened. Everything we sell is premium D rank and up. It's normal. I don't know these little E-rank trinkets, he thought inwardly. VIP customers have been scarce lately. At this rate, when will I get promoted to manager? So unlucky, always dealing with these annoying nobodies who bring 0 profit. Better pawn this off on the newbie. He stepped away and called, Hey little Lee, I'm handing the rest to you. Do it well. I've got high hopes for you. The female staff took the money and handed it to CCH Chun. Here's your payment, sir. Anything else we can help with? CCH Chun glanced at the cash. 10,000 enough for rent for now. He pulled a massive greatsword from his storage space and placed it on the counter. Next, take a look at this weapon. The female staff exclaimed in awe. Greatsword's so cool. She glanced over and marveled. I've never seen one like this, but feels at least bank. No, maybe even ank. The earlier staff returned, took one look and scoffed. A rank, get real. A rank weapons go for millions on the market. How many years have you been here and you've never even touched one? From farther back, a calm yet authoritative voice cut in. He's right. This obviously isn't some B or a rank gear. The staff immediately bowed, as expected of the boss's sharp eyes. The speaker, Qing Shi, looked at the great sword and murmured, "This clearly comes from Hell's rank equipment." The two staff members were floored. S rank. The boss Qing Shi hurriedly grabbed Chen and LT, Unk and GT's hand. Attitude unusually enthusiastique. "Welcome, esteemed guest. What an honor. Please follow me to the VIP room." As he led the way, he added, "Any requests, just tell me." Skin thought inwardly. Finally, he showed up. Qing Zai. This man was Qing Zai, the owner of the secret Silver Guild Exchange. After they sat down with tea, Qing Shi asked, "May I ask, sir, do you have any plans for this equipment yet?" Zichen replied simply, 1 million. Qing Shi was caught off guard. Just 1 million. You must know a rank gear already sells for millions. An S-rank weapon like this is worth at least tens of millions. It's priceless on the market. People would fight over it. Despite the advice Ian stuck to his guns, "I want to use this S-rank equipment as collateral to borrow 1 million. I'll redeem it in 1 month." The more Qing Shi heard, the more shocked he became. He thought, using an S-rank item as collateral, is this something a college student would even think of? Looks like he doesn't want to sell it. He wants to use it himself later. Mature mindset way beyond his age, and he's somehow acquired a genuine piece like this. Is he a runaway young master or a hidden super genius? Either way, this guy is definitely not simple. Unaware of Qing Xia's thoughts, Sun continued, "Just 1 month. When the time comes, I'll pay it back immediately, plus 10% interest." "How's that?" Qing Shi didn't rush to agree. Instead, he ordered the girl nearby. "Little Li, step out for now." Once she left, Qing Jia and LT, Unk and GT's expression shifted. "If I'm not mistaken, you attend the National Awaken University, and that school has the annual graduation combat exam. This year's is in 1 month. The first place prize is exactly 1 million, perfectly matching what you're borrowing. I boldly guess you're confident in taking first." Zi Chan stayed silent, just quietly observing him. Qing Xia stood up and continued his deduction. "You could wait a month for the prize money, yet you're in a rush to pawn something this valuable for cash now. That means you urgently need the money right away, and you must be backed into a corner to resort to this, right? If that's the case, I can lend you 1.5 million cash immediately. 0 interest for the month. Consider making a friend," he said generously. Zichen's face showed genuine surprise. He didn't know what to say. Qing Shi winked playfully and assured, "Don't worry, I'll keep everything today completely confidential, but in the future, if you have any trading needs, please consider our exchange first. I'll give you the best possible rates. What do you say?" Zichen couldn't help but admire Qing Xia's eye for people. He thought just from scraps of info, he deduced my background and needs. Smart. When he realized I'm in a tough spot, instead of taking advantage, he offered even better terms for long-term cooperation. No wonder he turned secret silver into the world's top exchange in the future. To kill Furious, he couldn't rely on himself alone. He needed reliable allies first. With a smile, he shook hands with him. After signing the contract, Chen and LT, Unk and GT's account instantly received 1.5 million. Qing Zai smiled. "Contract done. Money transferred to your bank." Then, as if remembering something, he added, "Also, with such a great weapon pawned, what will you use for the graduation exam? Need me to lend you some gear? We don't have S-rank stuff right now, but we've got plenty of high-end B and even a rank equipment." Khan gently declined. "No need. I've got another weapon just like the last one." With that, he pulled out an identical greatsword. Seeing him possess 2 S-rank weapons at once left the 3 people sweating bullets. "Holy crap, what is this?" Xing Jai quickly regained composure and saw him off. Truly, heroes come from the young. Then he turned to his shouting subordinates. Good thing little Li held on to this VIP. Promote her to front manager immediately. Ahead, Chen paused mid-step and said, "Oh, right. I want to buy some things." No one knew what he ended up purchasing. Time passed, and after leaving the exchange, Chen arrived at the Changgang County Longdi Distanciance bus station. Looking at the scene before him, he quietly reflected. In my previous life, money problems tormented me for so long. Back then, I just graduated, hadn't awakened yet, so no one would even consider hearing me. I had to take every odd job imaginable just to scrape together rent and living expenses. I could only live in the most frugal way possible. Even when I received the admission notice from the International Central Academy of Arts, I quietly tore it into pieces because I was afraid of becoming a burden on the family. Because of that, my little sister even gave up her dream of attending high school and faced reality instead. Sen turned left and right as if searching for something. It was getting late. Shouldn't Zio Yin already be waiting here? Suddenly, a familiar voice came from behind. "Gee, I've told you so many times pickups are at the exit, not the entrance. Were you too busy and spaced out again? C.I. scolded playfully while dragging her suitcase. That familiar figure made C-Chun and L.T., Unk and G.T.'s eyes freeze in place. But C.I. didn't seem to notice anything strange and kept complaining. Gee, why aren't you helping me with my luggage? Hey Jay, why are you zoning out like that? She called again. When San didn't respond, he suddenly pulled his little sister into a tight embrace, leaving her a bit flustered. She didn't understand why, but only CCH-Chin knew the truth. 7 years. I've finally reunited with her. Zio Yin, he whispered inwardly. His sudden affectionate action made his little sister annoyed, and she jabbed her fingers straight into his ribs. Hey, are you trying to crush your little sister? What's been up with you these past couple days? Acting so weird. Did some girl reject your confession or something? As she spoke, she casually tossed her bag at him. Sen awkwardly replied, No, nothing like that. Then hurry up. Let's go home. Home, Si-Yin shouted cheerfully. Just like that, the siblings happily headed back together. Behind her, CCH-Chan watched his sister's figure with eyes full of tenderness. He silently promised himself, This life, I absolutely won't let you suffer any grievances ever again. Meanwhile, in a different development, Jang Dai was quietly plotting against the C siblings. He instructed his lackey, This is the route that little punk Si-Chin always takes on his way home. We'll ambush here and attack the moment he shows up. I'm gonna make him taste what happens when you provoke me. One of the underlings nearby quickly tried to dissuade him. President Jang Dai, a lot of the student council bros are here. If we go too hard, won't that just give him ammunition to talk? But John Dai nearly roared. HMPH, I was just going to teach him a little lesson, but that brat's attitude pisses me off too much. Those bottom feeder ear ranks think they're C rank now, daring to touch what's mine. As for him, I'm going to make sure he can't even participate in the graduation exam in 2 weeks. I'm one of the top cloud assassin prodigies in the whole school. Subtract that show-off punk. As he spoke, he drew a mysterious dagger and headed toward the spot where the C siblings, Manhua, were. While walking, Sion couldn't help worrying about her brother. Gee, you've been acting so strange these past 2 days. Is it pressure from the upcoming graduation exam? Anyway, a shut-in like you probably wouldn't get tangled up in emotions. Gee, no matter what, you've got to pull yourself together. Didn't you used to tell me, life is long. Opportunities will come soon enough. How's that song go? Believe in yourself. She sang happily, her carefree demeanor bringing a bit of joy to Si-Chen's heart. He thought, Zoyin and LT, Unk and GT.'s intuition is so sharp. She sensed something different the moment we met. Right now, she still doesn't know I've awakened, so she thinks we're still living the same frugal life as before. Thinking this, he smiled and said, I'm really fine, Zio Yin. Contrary to what he assumed, CI was full of doubt inside, still playing tough for male pride. Men start building walls around themselves at a certain age. Yep, the books were right. Looks like Jay reached that state. Right at that moment, behind them, Jangda's group had silently followed. One lackey confirmed the target and said, President, that punk has his little sister with him. Hearing that, Jang Dai's eyes lit up with glee. Perfect. Then this alley has no cameras. Brothers, jackpot time. He said happily, unaware that in that very instant, CCH-Chun had already sensed their presence. That aura, it's the student council, and they dared come all the way here. Without any hesitation, he pulled out a pair of earphones and gently placed them in his sister's ears, instructing her. Zio Yin, there's a song I've been really into lately. I keep replaying it. Give it a listen. Okay. See. Yin didn't suspect a thing. Oh, since when did Gage get into music? As she spoke, she thought inwardly. Good music can convey a person's emotions. Let me understand you a little better, G. While CI enjoyed the music, CI-Chun prepared to deal with Gang Da's crew. In his eyes, the power rankings of Jang Da's group instantly appeared above their heads. While CI was still listening to the song, the armed group charged forward in unison to attack. Since rage finally ignited, he reminded himself, in my previous life in 2160, I lost my last family member. It wasn't until 2167 that I was reborn and came back, finally reunited with my sister. This is after 7 years of being apart from family. And you bastards dare show up to cause trouble. Without delay, he charged straight at the leader, sending the guy flying backward like a torn sack. That wasn't the end. Sun immediately channeled power into his fist, targeting a long-haired punk who panicked completely. Before the guy could react, Chin moved like lightning, instantly taking him down along with the two behind him. He delivered knee strikes straight into a red-shirt thug, sending him flying backward. Another black-shirt guy saw this and clenched his fist, rushing in. But Chin easily caught his punch. Then he swiftly followed with an elbow strike, shattering the black shirt guy's arm bones. The pain made him burst into tears. My arm, he stammered. Before he could finish, he ate a full fist to the face. His body shot backward like a cannonball. By now, Young Dai couldn't stay calm anymore. Panic surged inside him. No way. Holy, what's wrong with this kid? How is he this strong? Number 54 asked in fear as Cien charged toward him. Cien pressed his advantage in strength and speed, quickly punching down the rest of Alacius. Finally, with overwhelming momentum, he arrived right in front of Zhang Dai. The terrified president shouted to psych himself up. I am a top-tier cloud assassin. You think you can beat me? With that, he thrust his dagger forward, but Chen's fist was much faster. One punch smashed Zhang Dai's face sideways and sent him flying backward like a dead dog. Not stopping there, Cien used his speed to close in while Zhang Dai was still airborne, delivering a mountain-shattering punch straight to his chin. Teeth and lips mixed in a bloody mess. Once again, his battered body spun and rolled far away until it crashed into something and finally stopped. By now, Young Dai's vision had gone blurry. Zichen stepped in front of him and spoke in a dangerously low voice. I clearly told you not to piss me off. What? You don't understand human speech. Zhang Dai was so terrified he nearly wet himself. Regret flooded him. My bones are all broken. My legs numb. The test results were real. CCH Chun, he's definitely not deer ink. Thinking this, he weakly croaked, sorry. Before he could say more, CCH Chun yanked him close, pressed the dagger to his face, and warned, shut up. One more word and you're dead. Sekka's decisive action terrified Zhang Dai even more. His eyes didn't lie. He really would kill him. He's just a student. How does he have such heavy killing intent? What's his background? Zhang Dai thought in horror. Cien glared and warned him once more. Listen carefully to every word I say next. Do whatever filthy you want, but don't bother me again. If any of you dare threaten my little sister's safety, or even appear in her line of sight, I won't hesitate to make you disappear forever. Understood. Under the threat, Zhang Dai could only sob and nod frantically. Satisfied, Cien tossed the dagger aside and turned to leave. Meanwhile, his little sister, Cien, remained completely unaware of what had just happened, still lost in the music. Suddenly, tears streamed down her face. It feels so lonely. Why does this song make me want to cry? It's only been a few days, but it feels like G has been through so much. Is he really this alone? Haven't I always been right here with him? Thinking this, Sean pulled out the earphones and turned around shouting, Gee, this prank is way too mean. Behind her, the protagonist was already standing there with a gentle smile. He pulled out a small pen case and said, Zoyen, here's a gift for you. Looking at the golden pen glowing with a radiant shimmer, Cian's eyes widened in shock. This is a full magic instant pen. It's the latest model released by the Dorak Corporation. This thing costs a fortune. Where did you get it? Should we return it? It's way too expensive. I don't really like it that much anyway, she said awkwardly, though her face clearly showed how much she loved it. As for Tsun, he silently vowed to himself, in my previous life, I couldn't protect you properly, and I failed to safeguard your dreams. This life, I will protect everything that belongs to you. Behind the two siblings, the thugs who had just been beaten senseless were desperately covering their mouths to stifle any groans of pain, terrified of drawing Sek Chen's attention. Time flew by. The scene shifted to the C family home, where Sean was excitedly testing her new pen. She drew a purple fish floating in midair. This is so useful. It can create 3D images straight from the air. Beside her, Scene slurped noodles happily and replied, As long as Ion likes it, your egg noodles really are the best. Turning to Sean, she felt a mix of delight and regret, but we still have to pay rent. Spending like this. Before she could say more, Si-chan cut her off. I've already paid the full year's rent. The news left CI stunned. Knowing he'd slipped up, the protagonist quickly explained, Oh yeah, I did a little business with a friend and made some cash. His lie obviously didn't fool Sean easily. Gage can't lie at all. Super suspicious, so now he's keeping secret from me too. But that joyful expression on his face. It had been so long since she last seen it. Thinking this, she gently placed her hand on CI Chen's shoulder and asked softly, Gee, no matter what happens, don't force yourself, okay? Zichun turned back and quietly nodded in agreement. In another scene inside a room, Gong Ting and LT, Unk and GT's voice rang out. His injuries this time are severe. Six's bones are shattered. Even the best healers couldn't fully recover him in a month. I never expected he actually went after Sechin and ended up like this. Nearby, Ling Wu sipped tea with amusement and replied, Looks like he'll miss the graduation exam. Hearing her words, Gong Ting seemed unconcerned. No big deal. My team just lost one extra who wasn't even that skilled anyway. At the same moment, a man stepped into the room. His name was Gong Xuan, director of the Career Development Office at National Awaken University. He spoke up. It's that CCH Shin again. I've confirmed the internal grade assessment results. It's real kank. He's the only one in the entire school with a higher grade than you. Hearing that, even Gong Ting couldn't help but glance over in surprise. Gong Xuan continued explaining, this time your father invited the vice chairman of the alliance to watch your graduation performance in person. We can't let anyone steal your spotlight. But if it really comes to that, I'll just have my granddaughter take the empty spot in the Gong Palace team. In response, Gong Ting said something that stunned Gong Xuan. Uncle, you're overthinking it. They really think I went all out during the assessment. Don't worry, on the day of the combat exam. I'll show everyone who the real strongest is. The scene shifted back to Chen. While showering, he mentally reviewed his schedule. Today's 100 kilometers weighted training complete. Immediate financial issues resolved. Everything's going smoothly. After graduation, I can start the real plan. The next task is to smoothly claim the 1 million champion prize from the graduation exam and repay Qing Xia's debt in full. I have to honor the contract with Qing Zai. In the end, I'll still need his help for a lot of things later. There's still 1 month until the exam. I need to level up a few more times. With that thought, CCH Shun closed his eyes once again. The system screen displayed. System initializing. Devour system activating. The familiar red landscape appeared before Chan. He slowly advanced toward the towering tower, thinking nonstop. The previous assessment showed that my weakest job, Cloud Warrior King, reached C rank, but the Ashura Purgatory job's grade couldn't be displayed properly. Even though Usura Purgatory is shrank, I couldn't unleash its full power earlier. So, how much strength it can actually release remains unclear. Therefore, the corresponding grades for my other 2 jobs are still uncertain. Thinking this, he took out a key. It was the Time Rift Key, SSS grade, the key to opening the Demon Tower gate. The moment the key appeared, the ancient gate before him slowly creaked open. I've got to test it out today. Wonder what the inside of the Demon Tower looks like. With that, he stepped inside quickly when he emerged on the